Is he back? Are we good? Are we back? Cool. All right. Wow. Holy shit. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome back to another live stream. It's been a while. It's been what? A few months, hasn't it? I believe so, maybe. There is a reason for that, and I will get to that. So, first of all, welcome everybody to the stream. Hope you guys are doing okay. It's been a few crazy months, basically, especially since the holidays. So, so welcome Sean Carroll, welcome Trainman3985. Good to see you all here. This is going to be a very small live stream because we are trying so hard to get back into this because it's been a while. We know you guys have been asking for these, and it just in terms of content being dry, we're really gonna try to get stuff back in. And before you ask, what are your thoughts on this movie? What are your thoughts on this movie? What are your thoughts on this movie? You're gonna review this? You're gonna talk about this? I'm like, just guys, I know you have a bajillion questions, so I'm just gonna ask you guys, first of all, to just calm it down. Don't start in the comments with the spamming of questions. I know you have a bunch, but let me get to what I have to explain. So, if you guys are wondering why there hasn't been many uploads, weekly uploads, scheduled uploads, live streams, and so on, here's a couple things. I just want to get this off the bat. So we were starting to get back into things around January. We were really starting to get back onto like big projects and prepping and everything. And we've had a couple of hiccups the last few months. I'm not going to lie. It is mostly because of just all the variants of COVID. And with spring coming around, we're thinking, okay, good. You know, like things are going to pick up. We're doing actually pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Like COVID's kind of going away a little bit. Like I know there's another outbreak right now in Hong Kong, but it's like, I think they're going to have that under control. We got bigger fish to fry here going on. So, that's not a big issue anymore. What is a big issue is a couple of things. One, I've been kind of just taking a major break from YouTube, mostly because I just needed to get some air. I needed to get some energy. I needed to find something else to do. I was suffering major burnout, like just major burnout, where it was just like, I wasn't having fun making videos. I was having a very hard time getting things off the bat, getting things going. And it's mostly because it has been probably because I'm 30 now, it has been the shittiest winter I've ever experienced. So because of that, I've just been very isolated. I've been very quiet. I've been very kind of keeping to myself and everything. So, and I was thinking, okay, well, spring's around the corner. No worries, a couple months, we'll get through this, and then, we'll get back to work because, we've done 2 years of this. We're fixing up ourselves. Things are getting good. Not according to a certain Soviet country. So, I'm just going to point this out there. When the whole shit going on in Ukraine is absolutely awful. I hope everybody in Ukraine's okay, and fuck the Soviet Union and fuck them, right? I'm just gonna say that, like, seeing that happen, I knew I had to try to evade as much stress as possible from that. So a couple things happened. One, I shut off. I actually disassembled, just nuked my Twitter account. I just said, I'm not gonna deal with Twitter. That was the first thing to go. I've been very kind of stepping back away from social media a lot because I just know right now is not the time to be caught up in social media. Right now is a good time to actually be outside. Yeah, sure, it's cold out, but it's a good time to be outside and actually, talk to people in person and not just be all like on the tweets, like, like we can't keep doing that shit. Like, look, we've had that during the pandemic. We got a little too used to it now. So I'm like, okay, guys, come on. Let's pick up the pace. Let's get back to work. So that has been a major thing. Is just like condensing social media down for me. And that meant I had to just shut myself off everything. So Twitter, I had to shut myself even off TikTok for a little bit. I was on TikTok a few times. I mean, YouTube was the biggest issue because I was just burnt out. I was just tired. And even now, even as I'm now trying to get back to work on things, I'm still dealing with exhaustion and just my strength isn't as caught up as it is. And maybe it is a sense that I'm 30 and I am going through a bit of a mortality rate. I don't know. But through all the crap going on right now, a couple things have happened. On top of just trying to get back onto the big projects again, I've come to the reevaluation that some of these big projects are not going to be condensed schedules. because, quite frankly, I'm realizing how hard it's going to be. While things are picking back up and things are getting back to normal and things are really getting back on into the swing of things, it's going to still take a long time for society to recover 100%. And because of that, I have to basically say, okay, well, this isn't going to be, this is probably, guys, I'm just going to give you a heads up, it's not going to be a year-long season. And that's okay, actually, because you look at previous seasons, like seasons 2 and season 4, especially of my show, they actually lasted for a good few years. I think season 2 was like 2014 to like 2016. That's like 3 years of one season. That's because of just like what was going on in my life. And the same thing's kind of applying here. So I am trying to pad out with a bunch of different episodes, at least to get some stuff out. But when it comes to the plot, that is basically just going to take its time, and that's okay. I think it actually makes it a bit more, it gives it more time to breathe, gives it more time to work it out, and to take from Linkara, but without the aggression, videos are done when they're done. So don't worry, I'm still working on these big projects. I'm still going to be working on them, but maybe there might be some reviews I may be doing that a lot of you guys have requested or want to see. They might be condensed down to just simple reviews, which I'm kind of liking that, just to give me time to work on the story. So that's kind of what I'm doing on that end. So that's okay, because it actually gives me a time to work on reviews that I would not necessarily work on, and just basically give you guys some entertainment. So in terms of good news, I am working on a total of 4 episodes that are all coming out in the next 2 months. So you guys get to see 4 episodes. 3 are Kong reviews, and 1 is a little review that I'll get to in a sec. So the 2 Kong reviews, as you guys saw in the trailer, are of the 2 animated series movies. Worked on those pretty damn quickly. Part 1 is actually out now on Patreon. If you guys want to go see it now, you can just go subscribe to our Patreon. $1 more will get you access to all of our content, as well as other special features. But also Part 2, I'm actually maybe going to be having out sooner than later, because for one thing, I will say Part 1's going to air Friday, which is going to be a big plus, Friday. And then hopefully Part 2 will be next week, a week Friday. It all depends on the special guest we might have in mind for that episode. So that's going to be happening. On top of that, I might be able to get an April Fool's episode out this year, which is cool, which is a huge plus. We love doing those April Fool's episodes. And this one is on a topic that I kind of been wanting to tinker with for a while. I actually just finished the clips portions. Like, I edited the audio bits, and I just finished the clips segments for the April episode. So we're on the roll right now. We're really on a roll with things. And then there's one other episode I'm working on, and I won't say what it is, but somebody on my Patreon and somebody on Discord, I'm occasionally on Discord. Don't ask about a BigJackFilms Discord. Do not ask. No, we're not doing that. Not yet. I've been tinkering with it, but not yet, okay? Not yet. Just telling you right now, not yet. So, somebody on Discord and Patreon had asked me, or actually offered me, to do a review of a movie, which I'm not going to say what it is, but they have offered Patreon sponsor review. This is actually the first time I'm getting a lot of different offers and sponsors lately, because first of all, got to go see the Batman. Special thanks to the Geek podcast guys that invited me down to the screening of that. That was wonderful. But also somebody on Patreon, offered me some good money to review movies. So you know what? That might be a goal down the line with Patreon sponsors, is that, say somebody wants to donate maybe $100 or so, that's enough for me to do a full-on review. Just a full review of, whichever you like, as long as it follows the guidelines of what I can cover, as long as it's anything real life or political. I mean, I learned that from an opening night, which surprisingly has been gaining attraction. I'm trying to forget that film. But to the point, that is essentially what's been happening. So I've got 2 reviews in March, at the end of March, and then I got 2 reviews in April, and I'm going to be working really hard on those for the time being. And then hopefully, if things pick up, I'm going to go right into May, and we've got a couple of reviews on that end that are actually going to be really cool. And a lot of those we're hoping are going to be focused on Japanese-related stuff, because we want to start a thing called anime. See what I did there? And that's something we actually want to focus on. So we got a couple ideas that we're tinkering with, but things are slowly picking up, and that's why you guys will probably not be seeing too many scheduled videos for a while, just so I can pick myself back up a bit. I just needed a few months to essentially recover and to essentially just take a long break. Now, in terms of live streams, again, don't be expecting these often, because I do need as much time as I can to pre-prep. I think one of the first things I did when I went on my my break, when I went on my break after suffering burnout, was actually focus a lot on projects that I've just been shelving and just haven't had the time to essentially pre-prep, because a lot of these big projects I'm working on now take a lot of pre-prep, and because of that, I need to focus on those. And so doing the burnout break actually gave me time to focus on those projects. But that's not all the good news we got here. So what else has been happening? So I'm actually going to be in a documentary coming up soon. If you guys have seen a little trailer for something called The Legend of King Kong, it's a little documentary coming out. I'm going to be involved in that. I can happily announce. That's why you saw that little preview on the channel for the Legendary Monsterverse stuff. So the story behind this is interesting, and I guess I could kind of reveal what's going on, especially before the documentary drops. So it comes out, I think, on the 27th. They're having a premiere in California. I will not be there, unfortunately, but they're doing a premiere and they're going to be streaming it online. But the story that came around that, the Legend of Kong documentary, why I'm getting involved, is that I got an email from James Rolfe of Cinemassacre, who said to me, "Hey, there's these guys who are offering me to participate in a Kong documentary, and I told them I didn't have time. Can I send them over to you?" And I said, "Absolutely, James. Absolutely. Please send them over." So they reached out to me, courtesy of James, and so I'm going to be in this documentary, and I figured, way to go, fantastic. So that is what's happening in time. It's the documentary part 1 is going to come out in a couple of weeks, but some of the people who are going to be in this documentary are quite fascinating. First of all, good friend Linda Miller, who was Lieutenant Susan Watson in King Kong Escapes. We've interviewed her. She's a great friend of ours. She's going to participate. We have Jack O'Halloran, who was Joe Perko in Kong 76. He's going to be part of the documentary, along with a few people who have worked on the Monsterverse movies, and even something you might have seen in the trailer. I believe one of the family members of Marion C. Cooper, the creator of Kong. So it's like, oh shit. So this is going to be a huge documentary, and I filmed my portions way in advance and sent them over. So I'm going to be part of this thing. It's actually going to be really exciting. I'm actually really wanting to see what the final product looks like. So that's coming out. I don't know what streaming services, if it's going to be on YouTube. I heard rumors for a while it might be on Amazon Prime. I'm not 100%, but that is something I am currently working on, or I'm actually going to be a part of. So you guys can check that out if you guys want to go check it out and say, oh, he's in the video. One thing I will say recently, and I've noticed this because I've been doing a couple of cameos for a couple of YouTube content creators. Brock McGinnis, aka IndiFan, Fandemic, cameoed in a couple of his episodes. Razorblade, I've helped out with. It's good to kind of do these little cameos here and there with all these creators, and then everybody in the comment section is like, "Oh my God, it's BigJackFilms!" I'm like, that's amazing. But in terms of other announcements, other events coming up, first of all, this weekend, guys, I know it's a little 11th hour thing, but this weekend I'm going to be at Toronto Comic-Con. This will be fantastic. It's just a clear sign things are getting back in the world. Cons are coming back. So Comic-Con is this weekend at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. It'll be the South Building. It's only one of the buildings, not like one of the big ones, but a couple people are showing up for that. My good friends, the cast of Sailor Moon, they're going to be there. So kudos to them, from the original 90s dub, so the one I grew up with. They're going to be there. I believe... there was one other person who was going to be there again. I know there were a couple that just canceled recently, but I believe there are... Oh, the guy who played Admiral Akbar in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He's going to be there, but there's going to be a couple people involved. So if you guys want to go get tickets, go check that out, Toronto Comic-Con. And I'm going to be there in cosplay. I'm going to be doing Clint Eastwood from the Knowledge trilogy. I'm going to be doing either Saturday, I'm either going to do Zorro, or depending on the snow, I might do the Phantom of the Opera, which is a cosplay I've worked on. And Sunday, with my good friend Amethyst cosplayer, I will be cosplaying Batman, because, Batman's super popular again. Way to go, Batmania is back. And she will be Catwoman. So if you guys want to go check us out there, meet us there. It'd be awesome. Now, another event that I'm going to be coming back to is Anime North. Now, Anime North is normally in May. but they actually moved it to July. And I'm thinking, okay, that makes sense because you want to make sure that COVID's not that bad. And we've studied for 2 years knowing that it's not that bad in the summer. So because of that, there is a bit of bad news. I won't be able to come to G-Fest this year. I am so sorry that I can't come this year. And it's only because Anime North is happening the exact same weekend. And just for safety reasons, I want to try to do more local cons for at least a year until things pick back up. But I'm going to definitely try next year to come back because I loved G-Fest. I loved meeting you guys, and I do want to come back to that. So that will be probably not this year, but next year. However, a bit of good news here, and I can kind of announce this. There is a slight possibility, if any of my fans are in the Pennsylvania state area, April 1st, I think, the first weekend of April, I'm going to be at Too Many Games. And I've never been to Too Many Games. I've heard a lot of great things about Too Many Games. And I'm going to be there attending a screening for the Game Chasers movie and the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. And yes, James will be there. In fact, it's funny how it came about because I emailed him just to see how he was doing. And he said he's doing okay. And, you know, I told him, I asked him, hey, I heard about this event you might be going to. Are you going to be there? And he said, yeah. And he said, well, if you want to come around, please do so. So I contacted my guys and I said, do you guys want to go? And they're like, yeah. So we're booking that. We're hopefully going to be able to go. It's about I would say it's a good 85-90% probability I will be in Pennsylvania for that. So for any of my fans, American fans, if you want to meet me, go check out Too Many Games. That is going to be a really fun event to do. I'm only going to be there for about 48 hours, and then I have to take back off right back to Toronto, and here's why. Because I'm actually also volunteering. One of the things I did on the Burnout, I put in an application doing volunteer work for a opera show based on Conan the Barbarian. And it's a show where there's like lots of props, fight choreography. This is something right up my alley. So I'm going to be participating in that and helping out just as sort of like an observer, a documentarian, maybe just jumping in once in a while to help build some stuff and volunteer. It's a very volunteer job, but it's cool because I actually found out right down the road from me, like about an L-shaped block down a bit, there's a really cool prop department down there, which I absolutely love. For me, it was like a kid in a toy store. It was fantastic. So that is something that I am really excited to check out. So there's a lot happening on my end of things, on my life, but also on the channel. So I'm going to keep making videos, guys. Don't worry. I'm not gone forever. Not, oh no, something happened. What happened to him? I think like lately I just been needing a break, and it's because I've just got it's a mix of just trying to get stuff done and trying to reevaluate things and trying to really organize stuff. But also, I mean, there is some personal stuff in my life I am dealing with, so I can't be there. I can't do as much as I used to, especially right now. But I am going to be really pushing forward to try to get videos back up. I just needed about a bit of a month break from things because it was just things were killing me. And you think when one problem's done, and then what do you know, some other problem shows up. So that's just a lot happening on my end. So with that said, after my long update on that, so I hope you guys understand. But if you guys, again, want to come see me, I'll be at Toronto Comic-Con this weekend. Not the second weekend, but the first weekend of April, I'll be at Too Many Geeks, or Too Many Games, hopefully. And then July, I'll be at Anime North. So if you want to see me at any of those events, go get tickets and check it out. They're really fun. It's cool with Anime North. I've been waiting for this because for me, I always told myself, when things pick up, when things get back to normal, Anime North is going to be the con that's going to be the equivalent of the Ewok victory, where it's like, da 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 da, just little Ewoks going around and little Hayden Christensen going, hi, I'm Hayden Christensen. Which, by the way, I will say that Kenobi trailer looks awesome. I do want to see that show. So, with that said, unfortunately, there is no fan mail this time. I've actually opened a lot of them. I will say to some of the people who have sent me mail, I have opened your stuff. I want to say thank you all so much for the posters, for some of the Blu-rays, for some of the movies, and a lot of those movies you guys have sent me recently, those are going to be opening nights. I have to get the second Doctor Who done, because I know somebody did send me the first Doctor Who. I do have to watch that at some point, but I also did watch something like, I mean, here's the list of opening nights that I have planned. I'm gonna be talking about the second Doctor Who movie, The Predator, because I finally watched that for the first time, loved it. I'm also going to be discussing the 2 Scooby-Doo films, and I think there's a couple other things that were sent to me recently that I do want to discuss. But those are going to be happening as well. Inuyasha vlogs, again, just going to take my time on those. I just watched 2 episodes. I'm going to try to get a vlog done after the stream. I'm actually going to maybe film that soon and just get that done. But things are happening. Things are getting back to normal. I just needed a long break. So let's answer some questions. If you guys have any questions about the show, about certain characters, certain things going on, or events, requests, stuff, just hit me up. Let's not rely too much on requests because I've already got a lot backed up. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, but I'll just answer this one. And also, guys, if this is not going to be a super chat Q&A. You can answer as many questions as you want. But if you wanna send a super chat, feel free to. Do you want to see more Jurassic Park movies after Dominion? This is a good question. So I am really excited for Dominion. I will say this. I am planning to do the Legacy reviews. Again, it might take a little bit to put together, but I have plans for probably the final set of Legacy reviews for a while, because I don't know what's going to be happening after this film comes out. They have been saying this is going to be the final chapter, and I'm actually okay with that, because if you want to know what I want to see more movies of, here's what I would do. I would kind of do what DC's been doing, because you have, obviously your extended universe with Keaton and Affleck and the Flash and all that shit, but then you have a separate Batman thing. So here's what I would like to see. If they want to continue the Spielberg Jurassic era, as they're calling it, I would stick more with the short films, because those actually do extremely well for Universal. And they'll give the opportunity for filmmakers to tell little stories in the Jurassic era with their own spin in filmmaking. I think that is definitely a way to go. But in terms of movies, I don't think I want to see any other movies except for one thing. And this is going to sound like a sin, but I want them to remake the first one, but hear me out. Do Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. Do the book justice, because you look at the book, I've read the book, and you look at the movie, and it is a total watered-down version of the book, and I want them to give it the It treatment, where it's 2 books, and then you can split them into 2 movies each, so you got a 4-movie franchise. That's honestly what I want to see with the movies going forward. But when it comes to the Jurassic era, I think they need to focus more on smaller projects. Don't worry about movies anymore. I think 6 films is enough, but if you want to do more Camp Cretaceous kind of stuff, do some short films. That's where I think they need to go. So there's that. King of the Fat, I did see the Batman. I did do an opening night on it, so check that out. I just want to let you know that my Kong movie is almost done, and I already released a sneak peek on my channel in the trailer a few months back, and my friends are helping me out with the movie. Oh, fantastic. You know what? I'll check that out probably after this if I get some time. I won't do a reaction video, but I'll see what the process is. Here's hoping it comes out good, man. What reviews are you considering talking about in the summer or fall? So, summer, it's very kind of tinkering kind of ideas. I mean, it's things for me, the start of summer is May. So I'm going to be mostly focusing on anime-related stuff. I've got a few ideas of what movies I want to talk about, what Japanese content I want to talk about. There is, hopefully, if I can finish Season 5 of the vlogs, I want to talk about Inuyasha Movie 3. I want to talk about The Last Unicorn. It's celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. That is technically an anime. That is something I want to talk about. And I'm also working with another content creator. I'm maybe doing something related to a certain anime based on a card game. Don't want to say, but you guys can probably guess in the comments what it is. But that's something we're working on. June, I'm hoping to do something Batman related. Hopefully, depending on how things go, because that is a big project. That is something I want to do. I've been thinking about Jurassic Park. That is another one. And I've also, for some reason, I've been tinkering the idea of going back to some stuff with Jaws. Here's why I've been kind of tinkering that. Because, obviously, one, there's an episode I'm working on, Kong-wise, that kind of might have some Jaws stuff in it that I don't want to say, that comes out in April. But also, because a friend of mine was bringing up the work print of Jaws 3D. Now, I'm not a big fan of Jaws 3D, as you guys know in my review. But I was kind of tinkering with some stuff with Jaws that I was thinking about, either talking about or making a short on, which is funny because I don't know if there's, any Jaws fan films. Now, I'm not talking about doing a feature-length one. Far from it. But I've been tinkering with the idea of maybe doing like a Jaws short fan film. I can't say what, but it's just something in the back of my head I've been kind of tinkering with in the brain. But also thinking about doing something, maybe even bringing back Jaws month at some point. But because there's some stuff I've thought about talking about. Either one of the ripoffs I want to talk about, like Great White. I was even thinking about tampering with Bruno Mattei's Jaws 5, which fuck that piece of shit. It's not good. But I also been thinking about talking about the Jaws ride, because I used to love the Jaws ride. And then also what I would do with a fifth movie, because I know Universal, and there's so many rumors and talks about they're going to remake Jaws, it's going to be... Well, I don't think so, but if they were going to bring back that IP, which I doubt it, because I think the decade of nostalgia is over, we're now moving on to just basic projects. Like, the nostalgia phase is starting to fizzle out. So if they did something with Jaws, I would just do a fifth film, or just something completely different, that like basically new story, new characters, new shark, that only acknowledges the original film as a piece of history, not necessarily, oh, it's somehow connected to the original Jaws. It's like, no, maybe they bring it up or something. But maybe you have the same looking shark, but just don't make it about the Brodies, don't make it about the Hoopers, none of that shit. Just focus on a new thing, a new idea. That's sort of what I would do with it, essentially. Do you think Rexy's gonna die in this one? You know what? I'll just say this. I know she's probably gonna save the day, because she really lacked that in the previous film. But if she dies as a fallen hero, I'd actually be okay with that. That would bring the tears out. But at least it's more honorable and respectful than, say, the third one. That's the only thing about the third one that I still don't like. I come to actually appreciate part 3 a lot more. But in terms of just that death, that was just heinous, you know. I still defend the fact that is probably the baby T-Rex from Lost World. Let's see here. How didn't you didn't like Halloween Kills, but depending on how good Halloween Ends turns out, do you think it could end up making Kills better in your retrospective? It's going to be very tough, because this is the first time. I'll say this is the first time, probably since Halloween 5, that we've had a follow-up to a shitty sequel. And that's only because they filmed both movies back to back. Because the thing is with Halloween Ends, or Halloween Kills, is that I hated it. I absolutely despised it, and it's just the third time they've done a follow-up sequel to the original, and then the follow-up, they fuck it up. So, I think with Halloween Ends, this is what's going to be interesting about it, because the last one was just so fucking awful. It's making me wonder how the third one's going to be, because really at this point, the third one, nobody knows. This is what's scary about it. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Are we going to be getting another Halloween 6? That's the only worst case scenario. We get another Halloween 6, because that was just a mess of a movie. But because this is the first sequel that follows up a piece of shit one since that, have they learned from it? This is going to be a very interesting thing to see how they are, if they're able to stick the landing. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't compare this to something like the Star Wars sequel trilogy, where Last Jedi was awful. Oh, but this one, they fucked up the landing. Let's see. This is very much unprecedented times, and I don't know how the hell this movie's going to go down. So, let's see. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm curious to know if they can stick something a little better. Because there is stuff about Halloween Kills I liked, like, a lot, but it was just boggled down by a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, why? Why? You had something good and you fucked it up. So there's that. Like what they did with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Focus on something different, but make nods to the original. I mean, more or less so, actually, Sean, because I think what they should do is that it should just be new story, new characters, new shark, but make it, obviously look like the original, just for, marquee value. But in terms of just the events of Amity or the events of the characters, leave it alone. Don't focus on it. Don't make it the big point. Make it where maybe they just see the shark. They've never seen a species like this, and they look through a book. And a book says in 1975, the town was attacked in Amity, and that's it. That's the only knowledge. You don't bring back Matt Hooper. You don't bring back Richard Dreyfuss. to a point, but like just don't make that the movie. Don't make, like, you know, I would even say this. If you were going to play to the nostalgia of the original Jaws, I would be very much an anti-nostalgia movie. And here's what I would do with it. Do what I want to do. New characters, new story, new shark. But with the same design. If you are to go back to the events of the first one, and here's what I would set up. Amity is a ghost town. Since the events of the first one, and if you want to kind of cloud maybe that potentially 2, 3, 4 happened, I don't know, whatever they decide, just the idea that the events of Jaws caused the entire island's community to abandon it. The entire island, the entire town is a ghost town. There's very little to any residents there, and all the kids go down to this island to see what's up, because they say, and there's all these rumors that, oh, in 1975 this town fell under because of the shark, because of the beast, like this ancient legend. Like, that's the thing. And set it 50 years later. This is the best part, because we are reaching, believe it or not, guys, in a couple of years we're reaching the 50th anniversary of Jaws. That's crazy. And the idea is that because of 50 years that Amity has just gone to utter shit. The town is a ghost town. It's haunted. Like, people think it's haunted, and when they go there, it's apparently the legends. Like, a legendary beast came and destroyed the town, and then there was like and all that shit. Like, that's the only thing I would kind of do. And again, not focus on original character, not focus on the old characters. I mean, if you were to do anything with it, I would do kind of what Fallen Kingdom did, where you're focusing on these new characters, but you have Richard Dreyfuss in there as a cameo. He's not there as a mainstay character. He is there as a cameo. And the only way I could see that happening is if they do retcon 2 through 4 and just have it where this is just a sequel, direct, like pretty much like the events of the first film did happen, but the town's gone to shit, and there hasn't been a shark or anything in 50 years. Like, that's the only thing I would do. So something like that. Again, I don't know. It's still in the back of my mind of what I want to do with something like that, but I'll tinker around with some stuff. I don't have a full plot as of yet. Oh, nice. Congratulations, Jackson Knight. Guys, go subscribe to Jackson Knight Production. He's amazing. Jaws 5 should have a prehistoric shark as a tank. See, I like the design of Bruce, but the only thing I would change, Johnny, is I like the shark. The shark's terrifying. But if you want to add a bit more to the scare factor, you don't change the design much. What I would do is add, because the one species of shark that, while I've heard is not as lethal or deadly and are quite friendly creatures, but God, do they look scary, are sand tiger sharks, which are the ones with the really big pupils and those really devilish teeth. Like, if you add those, the eyes and the teeth, to the great white shark of the original, that sounds terrifying. And that's a way you can kind of update the creature a little bit, but don't make it like, just the first shark again. Like, just add some stuff to it to make it more thing. Maybe this shark is a spawn of that, and it bred with a sand tiger shark and created this weird devil thing, Just something on that level is what I would do. Most of the JP films have a similar length, just over 2 hours, and Dominion might be the finale. Would you like to see it about 2.5 hours, maybe 3? I've heard it's 2 hours, so it's going to be the typical length. I don't want a 3-hour film. I'm kind of glad we're kind of getting out of that. Like, the Batman's an exception, but I'm glad that most blockbusters are trying to go at least under 2 hours again. Am I going to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2? I have not even seen the first one, and I'm not the biggest Sonic fan. Have I seen Texas Chainsaw? Yeah, I've heard nothing but shit. That's my chainsaw. That's how I can describe the movie. Shit. That's what it is. Hope Ghostbusters 4 has Slimer. I've heard they're tinkering around with a follow-up. What I would like to see is, it'd be cool. I don't mind a sequel because I did like Afterlife. But you know what? Make both fans happy and just do a crossover with the 2016 stuff. Because, look, if there's something I've learned from No Way Home, is that I love the fact that No Way Home, spoilers by the way, redeemed elements of previous films that technically sucked and actually gave them better quality, actually gave them better weight, like a better look at it. Like after seeing No Way Home and seeing that scene where Garfield saves Mary Jane, going back to Amazing Spider-Man 2 and watching it again and seeing what the eventual outcome is, it kind of makes Amazing Spider-Man 2 a tad bit better. Like, it's still, for me, the worst of the franchise, but it did kind of redeem it a little bit. It fixed it somewhat. Even Spider-Man 3 has been redeemed a little bit because the acknowledgments of that film, and plus the fact that we find out that Toby and Kirsten as characters, they worked it out. And then you have, like, obviously, Parker acknowledging that Harry died. In fact, I will say that is one thing that I think would have given the movie No Way Home a little bit of leeway. It would have. I think what they were mostly trying to do was focus on Tom Holland Spider-Man, which I understand. But when you're bringing back these characters and you are acknowledging the events of the previous films and the timelines and everything, I think just to add a bit more weight to something like the Green Goblin's character and why he would want to, obviously kill all the Spider-Men. How is it that he never found out in some way that Harry died, that Harry was killed, his son, his only son? How great of a scene, because you bring Willem Dafoe back, so why not have a scene where he realizes, my son is dead? Like, if that's not enough, and that would be enough to push him over the edge and bring back the Goblin. What about the concept of, like, had the Goblin come back and he's more Norman? Like, he's mostly Norman. The Goblin's just more of a side thing. Like, it's not necessarily a thing. But then when he finds out that his son died because of the irresponsibilities of Spider-Man, that would be enough to make him snap and finally go full Goblin and saying, I'm killing Spider-Man, all of them, not just because I want to have fun, I'm the Green Goblin, wahaha, but also because you killed my son. Like, it just would add more character depth, and then you become conflicted. Like, look, you understand his pain. You understand he wants revenge, but you also don't want the Spider-Man to get killed. It adds more conflict. Like, I understand Dafoe. Like, look, Dafoe is always going to be the definitive Goblin. I think he signed on for more. I don't know. But just the idea that I think that would have added a bit more weight to his character if he had known that Harry died. And I know there's apparently a deleted scene in the bonus features where he does confront the Maguire Parker. But again, I don't know why they cut that out. And the other thing I'll say about the movie is that this is sort of like a spoiler review. Lack of the music. I really wish there was more emphasis on the Garfield and Maguire movie themes, especially with Danny Elfman. Like the scene where Tom is crying and he says, when Aunt May died, the last thing she said was great power, and Toby's like, comes great responsibility. How cool when he right in that pause between with great power and great responsibility, you hear the Danny Elfman theme. Like, it just would have added right there, and that, like, the bit in that bit of music they play that in when Doc and Otto and Peter meet, and they play the Danny Elfman theme. I think it would have been cooler if they just incorporated that into that scene. And so there's just some stuff in No Way Home. No Way Home is a good movie. I'm not saying anything bad. At this point, I'm picking it apart, saying this is what I kind of would have done with some elements of the film. And just given a bit more leeway and a bit more weight is the only thing I would have done. But they're picky things that they'll let it pass. It's no biggie. So, with that said, we got a super chat. Holy shit! Super Michael 98, thank you so much, guys. Go subscribe to him. Thank you so much for that super chat. He says, here's a new one for you. What's your favorite YouTube poop? Mine is Deliver Us by Awful Flawful. So, okay, so I'll just say this right now. I love the hell out of YouTube poops. They are some of the most, like, creatively funny pieces of content, and the fact they're still thriving fascinates me, right? My personal favorites. I like the classics. Like, I'm surprised there isn't a Turner Classics YouTube poop channel with the classic stuff. So my personal favorites are things like Toys Gone Wild. The first one that really went viral was Toys Gone Wild. I love the hell out of this one, The Hobbit: An Incomprehensible Journey. And that's because that brought me close to a lot of my best friends. We watched that. When the first time we met, we talked about YouTube poops. And we watched that, we were laughing our asses off. So I love the hell out of that one. Like a Revenge of a Madman. In fact, before we saw No Way Home, we watched that again. It's some of the funniest shit. So I love me a good YouTube poop. In fact, hi, can we get more YouTube poops of my stuff, please? I'm waiting for more YouTube poops because I was having a field day with that McJordan one. That is some of the funniest shit. I want more of that, please. I think that would be fantastic. So more BigJackFilms YouTube poops. Guys, just go crazy. If you guys are YouTube poopers and want to try it out, take my content, do whatever you want with it, and I'll even react to it if it's funny. So do that. Thank you so much, Super Michael 98, for that super chat. Really appreciate it, my dude. It really goes to good stuff right now. Thank you so much. What is your least favorite type of horror movie? I don't like jump scare movies. And I don't like movies where they're like, I'll be honest, I don't like really micro budget movies because the scares are cheap and it's all blah, blah, blah. It's all boogie, boogie, boogie. I hate that. Like I want like things like Jaws, Poltergeist, The Descent, those are some of the scariest movies because it's atmosphere, it's primal fear, it's the eerie music, it's the creatures. Just I need that. Those are like the quintessential horrors for me. Oh, hey, Replica Films. Good to see you. If you guys don't know, Replica Films does a EFAP sort of podcast on a channel. I think it's called Script Corners. They do reviews. They covered some of my stuff. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys cover more of my stuff down the line. They are really funny. Like that's the thing. Like they can pick apart my stuff, and I'm pretty charismatic about it, and they make it funny. Like I'll just say this. They call me, they watched my Return of the Jedi episode, and they're like, well, he's less nostalgia critic and more nostalgia cringe it. And I'm like, I can acknowledge that's really damn funny. So he asked a question. Thank you so much, Replica Films. Jack, with all due respect, I understand Ghostbusters 2016 was hated for very obvious reasons. Yes, it was. And that goes to my point with Spider-Man. I jumped ship a little bit. But hear me out with Spider-Man. Is that if Amazing Spider-Man can be redeemed through good writing on a follow-up film that's a multiverse movie, I can kind of see with another Ghostbusters with the one that they're doing now with Afterlife. If they can find a way to bring in the 2016 Ghostbusters and redeem not the film but the actresses involved, because the thing is, it's not the actresses' fault. It's not the fact that it's a female Ghostbusters. In fact, I'm okay with that. The problem with that film was the terrible writing and the terrible comedy. That's where it just felt cynical and awful and a terrible film. But if you try to incorporate these great comedic actresses and put them in a better written film, you could create something really special. In fact, what I would like to see is, if you think about it, because in the last one, Afterlife, you had 8 Ghostbusters. You had the original 4, and then you had the new kids on the block. There were another 4. So that's 8 Ghostbusters that were easily able to take out Gozer. But if you add 4 more, that's like what? 12 Ghostbusters? First of all, that's pretty fucking cool. But second of all, imagine the idea of like, because one thing I'd say with 2016 is that what they did was they had a concept that failed. The idea of like a big battle in the city fighting all these ghosts with all these different ghost trap gadgets. That's a cool idea, but again, boggled down by terrible writing and terrible jokes. Like, slap shot! Like, fuck off. But take that and apply that to 12 Ghostbusters in a massive battle for New York against the undead. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to watch that. In fact, you could call it, and I'll just call it, it'd be a good little tagline, Ghostbusters Cross Streams, or Ghostbusters Cross Streams. Because it goes back to when it's like, what is it, Egon, where he's like, don't cross streams, That would be interesting. Like, maybe the idea is that when there's an example where they do cross streams, and it creates a multi-dimensional rift. Something. It would be interesting to do something with that. Because I know, despite everybody mostly hating 2016, the 2016, in terms of design, does have its fans. So, maybe combining the two, the best of both worlds. Basically, let's all just get along. And just have a better written script, basically. It may not redeem the original film, or it may not redeem 2016, but it gives these guys a second shot with a better script. Let's see here. Holy shit, we're getting comments. Boulevard's YouTube channel, there's a guy named Ronan Ryder, and I was wondering if you know. I don't know who that is. Will I be doing anything for Sailor Moon for the 30th anniversary? No, James. However, again, I should make an announcement that I will be attending Toronto Comic-Con this weekend, and the cast of Sailor Moon of the Deke Dub will be there, and they are friends of mine. So I haven't seen them in a good couple of years, so it's gonna be good to catch up with them. But yeah, that's happening. So I'll say that because I don't think Susan's gonna be there, but I know Katie's gonna be there, Linda's gonna be there, and Toby's gonna be there. So I'll say the fans came over and are following my channel. So way to go. There's that. Let's see here. Holy shit, the comments are going by like crazy. Want to let you know, let's say inspired. I also want to let you know that my Kong movie is not perfect, and in a movie I was inspired by your movie, and it has similar stuff to yours, but it's different. See, that's the best. Honestly, I'm flattered, man, because those are the best. Is that the fact that my content can inspire people? That's enough reward for me in a way. I will be there on Comic-Con on Sunday, but I will be as Batman. So if you see me, say hi. There's that. If Sailor Moon and Godzilla did a crossover with each other, what villain monster should they both fight? I don't know, maybe something like Megalon or the Smog Monster or Gigan, I think would be an easy, because Godzilla could not only take a fight with them, but if you got help from the scouts, that'd be kind of cool. I wasn't a fan of Ghostbusters in general, but after having recently watched all the film, 2016 really just felt like a bad troll spoof movie. It really did. It kind of was like a Troll 2, but on purpose, basically. Like, we know it's bad. Holy shit, these comments. Holy crap. Hey, Jack, how do you think Dr. Henry Wu will die, and what dinosaur will kill him? I don't know. I'm just going to go in completely blind on that one. No, that's not. I don't know. Like, again, let's not have any preconceptions. I don't know what to expect with this one. Are you considering talking about any other Universal Monster films in the future? I've actually been, because, I mean, the last two Halloween specials have actually done surprisingly well. I did the original Monsters 2 years ago, and then last year I did Mummy Month. I thought about kind of maybe bouncing back to some of the original Monsters that I didn't cover yet. So things like, I want to talk about some silent movies. Things like The Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man. That's one I didn't cover. With Claude Rains. There's some monsters that I wouldn't mind covering as a little extra thing, and even The Bride of Frankenstein. I think those are the four I would focus on, especially with Halloween. Again, I don't know what's happening this Halloween. That is really far down the line, but let's see what happens. I want to just mostly right now focus on the big projects that I kind of want to just get this season done, basically. So that's what's happening on that end. Thoughts on Godzilla Singular Point? I haven't watched it yet. I have not been doing much Netflix. Although I will say this. I don't have Disney Plus, but I did go to my friend's place and I did watch his Disney Plus overnight, and I watched all of Star Wars Visions, which is the Star Wars anime. I kind of loved it. I really loved the hell out of Visions. Visions was awesome. And I even like the stuff with, like, the band, like, the K-pop, like, rock band that, like, Jabba decides not to execute them and make them sponsors. Like, I like that shit. That was actually really cool, and I watched it in Japanese. And I'll say this, because I was kind of tinkering around with Disney+. First of all, I'll say the quality on a lot of the movies is spectacular. Like, I'll say that about Disney+. However, I love the fact that, like, almost every movie they have is in Japanese. So now I can watch basically Disney Plus all this anime. I can watch all their movies like an anime, and I'm like, yes, give me anime Disney. Yes, just like stream that shit in the Anime Con. Everything in Japanese. That'd be fantastic. Let's see here. I don't know if you're into it, but I recently got into my nope. Hell no, not into it. Don't even get me started. Any Back to the Future plans? I have already covered Back to the Future, Sean, in my top 10 timeless Back to the Future moments. That's probably the most I'm going to be doing, so if you want to check that out, link, or just go check it out on my channel. That's actually one of my favorite episodes. And I'll say as a funny story, that took a year to make, because I was actually writing the script on a road trip to Florida, and I filmed everything in Florida, the main segments there, came back, shot with a good friend of mine who has the time machine, and when I got it all done, it flopped. And I was so disappointed. I was like, it flopped. That was a well-made episode. But I'm glad it's picking up now. But if you want to see me cover Back to the Future and my overall thoughts, go check that out. So there's that. Tell you the truth, I love every second of Star Wars Visions. Unfortunately, I read this. The rest of Script Corners hated it and caused somewhat of a rift. Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing, Replica Films. I want to see you guys come back. Even if you have to bring in new talents, I want to see you guys come back because I really have been enjoying your streams whenever you put them on. And man, look, I'm up for good roasts. I like a good roast of my content. It allows me to it gives me time to laugh. So yeah, I would advise, man, just go watch more of my content. I just review the hell of it. Do a Godzilla versus Kong episode. That's what I'm waiting for. I don't know what that is. If that's those weird commentary things, oh no. Seriously, there's a weird portion of my fans. I hate to call you guys out, and I'm not gonna be like a dickbag or anything. I'm actually gonna try to be respectful here. But there is a portion of certain groups of fans of certain content that I notice like to come to this channel and try to slightly convert me. And that is, I mean, bronies. It's bronies. It's people into the train stuff, the Thomas stuff, and then there's what was the other thing? There was one other thing. I can't remember. And like the Winnie the Pooh. These fans of these really, just in my personal perspective, nothing against you guys, very childish content. Now, nothing against that. Nothing against that. What you like is what you like. But I've noticed a lot of them migrate over here. And I know I kind of put you all in a separate category. And I just say, I respect you guys watching my content, loving it, but I'm not that kind of dude, okay? I no matter how much you slightly convert me, I'm not joining the club. And I feel really bad. I understand you guys have your thing, but it's just not me. I'm not a brony. I used to like Thomas when I was 5. And, you know, freaking, there's the last thing. God damn, I keep forgetting the other thing. The Pooh commentator, all this shit. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. I appreciate you guys coming here and watching my content, but just know I respect you guys, whatever your opinion is, but respect mine. This is not my thing. I'm sorry. The closest I would get is maybe reviewing. I mean, I've been really tinkering with maybe the idea of talking about Magic Railroad, but again, it's not on the playing table right now. But it's just, I'll just say this. Look, I have nothing against bronies, okay? Some of my friends were bronies. Like, some of my friends were bronies. Evan was a brony. Brett was a brony. If you watch the Kong bloopers, you have brony jokes 24/7 because we were filming that at the time that show was in its prime. And they were ranting about it to me constantly how good it was. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't understand. I was a young, stupid kid out of high school. I was like, I don't get the fascination. In fact, I'll say this. I think it was like 23. I watched one episode of Frontiers of Magic on television. I don't remember what the episode was. I don't remember what it was about. And I just figured I'd watch it to say, okay, let me see if there's anything I'm missing from this. I'll watch one episode. And I watched it. And to quote JonTron, the great JonTron, I was literally standing there with a Nintendo controller in my hands, and I literally stood there and said, I get it. I don't get it. I gave it one shot, and that's all I'll do. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not my thing. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. In fact, I know there's a lot of good people in that community, but there are a lot of bad ones. And I'm just, you know what? I might cause some drama here. Oh boy, this is gonna be a drama stream. But can I just say that I am so happy that Miss Anthropony is getting called out right now, because I like his content to a degree. Like, I like some of his content to a degree. But let me just tell you something. That dude is passive-aggressive as shit. And that scares me. There are some of his content is a little bit too much, where I'm like, okay, dude, you're taking this a little too far. But he has to push the envelope because I guess that's a character he's playing. I don't, but just seeing him get called out, I'm like, okay, this guy's got problems. So I don't know what the situation is fully, but all I know is I'm very 50-50 with him, but he seems like kind of a douchebag. And I don't know, but I'm just saying, I'm just gonna call him out because he might be fucked right now. I think he's totally screwed, but it's like, nah, fuck it. I don't care. I was holding back because I know I didn't want to cause drama, but it's like, you know what? Fuck him. I don't care. Dude, it's like, he's passive aggressive as shit. I'll just say, his nostalgia critic on Sailor Moon response, I like it to an extent, but there are moments in that video where I'm like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't, you're like, because he is very one-sided on it, because he's more on the Japanese source material, which I understand, you have to respect that, but it felt like he really bashed a lot of the 90s kids who grew up with it. He bashed a lot of that demographic and that generation, and that's where I took issue. So there's my take on Miss Anthropony. I don't know the guy personally, but some of his content's okay. But I will admit, he can take things a little too far. He can be a little passive-aggressive, and he can be kind of a dickbag. That's all I'm going to say. No drama. Don't want to start shit, but there you go. There's my rant on Miss Anthropony. I really don't like that guy. So there's the drama. I can already see the comment section be like, oh my god, he's speaking out. Oh no. Jack, you still excited for the Skull Island anime? I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know what's been going on with that. I wish I got some updates. I don't know what is going on. I want to talk about it when it comes out, but I haven't heard anything. Out of all the Batmobiles, which one would you drive? I know exactly which one I would drive. That's this baby right here. I like me the 89 car. This is the RC by Mattel. This thing's actually a beauty. This is great for model work. But yeah. This is my Batmobile. It's between, like, the top 4 Batmobiles for me are this one, animated series, Batman Forever, and the Batman. I just want to say with the Batman, I fucking love that car. I love the Batmobile in this. Like, oh, it's so cool. That's like, finally, it's not a giant tank piece of shit. It's a fucking car. Thank God. So there's that. It's kind of funny, actually, Jack. I thought childish shit. Yeah, again, not my thing. Sorry. Not my thing. What villains do you want to see in the next Robert Pattinson Batman? So I talked about this with friends. I've talked about this on Nerd Cage Live. Guys, go check them out. Our discussion on that. But I've heard the biggest candidate is Mr. Freeze, and I'm all for it because this is a chance to actually do the character justice. But also, if I picked an actor, Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston as Mr. Freeze. If he went full Walter White on Mr. Freeze, brilliant. Make that happen. And also, you know what? I may be stepping on toes here. I know a lot of people want this. I want Robin. Can we get Robin finally, please? I'm so done with Batman being solo. Let's get Robin. I want my Robin. Because Robin has not been in the movies in 25 years. Comic-Con is in the South Building. That's it. All right, thank you so much, Sean. Good to see you on here. We might actually wrap this up soon, so let me just see here. Yeah, we do plan to do stuff at some point. We do plan to do something at some point. We're just working out the details. Let's see here. Jack, what do you hope to see in the next King Kong movie from the MonsterVerse? Again, it's very uncharted water, so I can't really have a say of what I want. And I'll be honest, a lot of people say, what do you want to see in the next one? What do you want to see in the next one? Honestly, I don't like thinking preconceptions much because I think that's why a lot of movies suck. We put our preconceptions way too high of a pedestal to the point where when it doesn't live up to that, the movies ultimately suck. And I think on my end, I'm trying to deprive away from that, where it's like, I'll just want to go in with an open mind. And when I go in with an open mind, I actually enjoy movies a lot more. That I don't have any predictions of what the movie's going to be, or, oh, I know this is going to be, I hope this is in the movie, or I hope this is in the movie. I just go in with a very open mind. And when you do that, you can appreciate films better. When you try to have preconceptions, you really fuck up. Let's see here. Oh, Inuyasha, thought, sure, my filmed Cars Horse getting to a facility. I should say, Inuyasha 101, just a little heads up. One of my, part 2 of this animated series stuff, I do give you a really nice shout out, man. So look forward to that. I'll let you know when that goes out. But, yeah, just, I really have been seeing your artwork and it's looking spectacular. Oh, this is a good question. Any updates on the Star Wars prequel reviews? That's content I'm excited for the most. So, because Star Wars, the prequels, is one of those big projects, right? That is a BigJackFilms ultimately. My hair is fucked. The thing is with the prequels is that when we started shooting in 2019, we were smooth sailing. And then COVID hit. And it's really, with all of our projects, just really put it to where big projects can't be delivered because a lot of people are just, when they can work, and that's all it is. So we are on essentially a Kong level where it's like they just get done, and right when we think they're almost finished is when we can start making decisions of releases. So with the prequels, and because it's not going to be this season but the next season, so we're on season 7, might be season 8, and because season 7 might take a little longer to produce, it's up in the air. Honestly, it's really up in the air. I gotta wrap up this season's story first, because I know this season really left off on a weird note, and a lot of people want to know what happens next, and I've been kind of tinkering with what I want to do next. But the thing is that because I want to go big or go home, basically. I really want the story to really pay off, especially with that big ending to the finale, and I want that to pay off really well. So again, it's just, we work on it when we can. We're gonna get back on it in May. We are kind of struggling with a few things, but we are really determined to just get it done. But we'll keep you posted. But we're kind of getting there. I can just say, if anything, if you want to know like where the process is, episode 1 is about 95% complete. Not review-wise, but just production-wise. This year, we really want to focus on mostly episode 2 and episode 3. Those are the mainstays. But again, I can't really say much of what the hell's happening with the prequels. I've already said I like it. Plans for December. Have no idea. Again, it all depends on how things go, but we want to get, if we can get our finale out, if we can get the storyline going about the summer, then yeah, we can, but we don't know. We don't know. I loved it. Really liked the Obi-Wan trailer. Liz Petch, oh god, just the kid stuff. Okay, so that is in the works. I can't say when. I'm doing very quick, little short things. Your top 30 favorite movies list was absolutely fun to see it, and even better looking back on episodes, which you elaborate on them, including an opening night. So basically, you want me to do reviews of movies of some of the stuff I haven't covered? That's sort of the plan. There's some of those movies I am going to cover at some point, because I do want to talk about them. So they were just there to kind of say, hey guys, don't worry. I know these movies exist. I like them. If you've been asking about them, they are my favorite movies, but they are in the works. Okay, so, oh, this is a good question. What are your favorite war movies outside of The Great Escape? So I really like Saving Private Ryan, because that one was very, that was pretty much the prototype to Call of Duty. I do like Saving Private Ryan, probably next to Great Escape. I really dug Dunkirk. That was a really good movie. Okay, so I hated Pearl Harbor. I hated Pearl Harbor because it was just a stupid Titanic ripoff, and it's Michael Bay. I don't like Michael Bay, but I'll give him credit. I'll give him absolute credit that that scene at Pearl Harbor delivered. Like, that's where he was shot. Like, look, he's Michael Bay. He's all about the kaboom. He delivered on that, and that's where I was like, okay, the movie's good now. But everything else before and after that was utter shit. Absolutely hated most of Pearl Harbor. Other war films, again, Dunkirk. I liked War Horse. And I mean, Vietnam movies are very conflicting for me, because with the Vietnam War, I felt, for me, like, coming from the fact my dad was a veteran, was a very personal, individual war. It wasn't about the politics or the political parties or whatever. It was all about the people in that depths of the jungle. So I would just say things like Platoon. is not good. I actually will say Platoon is not a good movie. Apocalypse Now is okay. It's super long. I kind of dug Full Metal Jacket. Like, I liked everything at the training facility. But then after that, the movie went downhill outside of a few sequences. And We Were Soldiers was just meh. And I'd say out of all of them, the most emotional one is The Deer Hunter. I watched that recently on Laserdisc a couple of years ago, and I cried. Like, that's a very heavy-hitting movie, Deer Hunter. But really, Vietnam is very difficult to kind of narrow down what is the better film of that era. It's very tough. I'd say out of all of them, the one I watched the most is Kong Skull Island, and that has dinosaurs and shit and a monkey. It's like, yeah. So there's that. I guess I hope that answers your question. Oh, you know what? I really dug the hell when I saw it in cinemas. Zero Dark 30. That movie kicked ass. That was a good, real, true, down-to-earth story. And what I love about it is that with the third act, with the climax, as I would put it, they knew which demographic to go for, and they said, let's film these actual events, but let's make it a Call of Duty game. And that's what it is. Like, the whole time, I loved it. It looked good. But my only thing was, oh, cool. When do I get to pick it up and play it? Because how the fuck have they not made a Zero Dark 30-esque video game? How have they not made a Call of Duty level where you do that mission? I understand offending people, but fuck it. Like, that would be a good mission in a Call of Duty game. I'd play the hell out of that level. That'd be fantastic. Well, no, like, I mean, the thing is with Platoon Replica is that, I mean, coming from somebody whose father served in 75th Rangers, they did some pretty heavy shit. My dad even said he doesn't like that movie, and he's a veteran. So take it from him that he says if it's in the because the problem is that it's really Hollywood. It's very historically inaccurate. It looks like it was shot in Florida. And that's the most cases with movies, right? But it's also just, it did a lot of stuff that, coming from my dad, what he said, none of us fucking did that. Maybe some did that, but it was a very small minority. But yeah, it's just, my dad didn't like it. You know, my dad's not a fan of that film. So it just, take it from him. He was in that war. So and I kind of watched it realizing, yeah, it's just more of a personal matter. I know if people like it, it's great. But it's just more of a matter of, like, take it from my dad's side of things. He did not like the film. And nothing against the actors. I think Willem Dafoe is great. I think Charlie Sheen is the only few times he's good, outside of Three Musketeers. But it's just really inaccurate, and it's really Hollywood. It's very like, wait, that didn't happen. To put on my Mr. Plinkett voice, wait, that make no sense. Basically, is kind of how it felt. So we're gonna probably wrap this up soon. I want to get like 2 or 3 more questions in, and then we're gonna basically get through it. Okay, this is an interesting question. Thoughts on Lightyear? So with Toy Story, everything post 3 has been very mediocre. I mean, I liked 4 because I'd say it's not as good as 3, but it was funnier than 2. It is the funniest of the films. But it just felt, again, if you look at it from like a very like personal impact of the first 3 films, it feels very pointless along with the shorts, but they're entertaining. They are entertaining films. With Lightyear, it just feels like it is relying on the Toy Story brand still, and it has promise. It just has promise of being just a fun movie. Just a fun movie. But as an impactful, emotional story with the Toy Story franchise, it feels kind of pointless. Although, my biggest pisser about it is that it completely retcons Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. I love the fact that cartoon is now having huge fucking, like huge positive ratings, like positive feedback, that people are like, oh man, remember that Buzz Lightyear cartoon? People are like, oh fuck yeah, that was awesome. I'm like, nobody seemed to care about it when it came out, but now it's like people love the Buzz Lightyear cartoon. And I'm like, really? I like the cartoon. I like the movie. The Buzz Lightyear movie. Like Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, The Adventure Begins, starring Tim Allen. What a title. Way to go. I love the hell out of that. So the fact it's got relevance now fascinates me, and I think it's because of Lightyear. Lightyear brought out the old Buzz Lightyear Star Command fans, and like people are now fucking simping over the blue-haired chick from that, which I can't remember what her name was, but all I remember there was like Buster, I think, who was like the big red guy, and then fucking XR. Remember XR, the fucking Star Command droid? Like the droid that was a space ranger? Like XR, gun, XR, gun. He pulls like 20,000 guns. That shit was great. Freaking Wayne Knight is Zurg. I'm like, brilliant. And his psychic, I shall call you Agent Z. That's stupid. I love the hell out of that. Like, so when it comes to Lightyear, it just kind of retcons Buzz Lightyear, the cartoon, unless they say that the cartoon does happen, but the events of Lightyear not only inspired the toys, it inspired the cartoon. I'm curious to see what they do with it. I might go see it. It looks like a drive-in movie that I'd see with like a couple friends, you know, or something. But I'll say this about it. The song Starman is stuck in my head. Starman! Like, that shit's stuck in my head. Pixar knows how to do that. And I'll say this too about Lightyear, and that why I'm kind of like, there's a bit of a positive reason why I would see it. It has a lot of WALL-E in it. It's like Toy Story meets WALL-E. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that because I love the hell out of WALL-E. I think, like, for me, it's funny with Pixar. Because my favorite era of Pixar was what I call the Toy Story trilogy era. Basically, from the first Toy Story to the third Toy Story, everything Pixar did was gold. Everything Pixar did was great. And that was sort of the lineup of films. And if I had a box set with like the 10 or 12 films they made in that period, I could say, hey, that's great enough for the company. But everything after Toy Story 3 has been very mediocre for me. I know I saw Cars 2 and I thought, even if it being bad, it was just okay. Brave was okay. I didn't even finish Monsters University. And I've just lost interest. Like Toy Story 4 was the last Pixar movie I saw. Now, hear me out. I have heard very, very good things about Turning Red. Very good things. The fact it was shot in my hometown. You know what? I've heard very great things about Turning Red. And I'm glad all of you are enjoying it. Thank you. You get to see what my hometown's like. You'd be like, oh, hey, this is the Pixar film where BigJackFilms lives. Yay. But I'll just say that, I don't know. I haven't been into Pixar lately. I haven't watched much Pixar films. I mean, it's one of those things where like animated movies are very, I have a hard time getting into all, because it's like there's a new animated movie every other week and it just gets become too much. Like right now everybody's talking about Turning Red, but beforehand everybody was all about Encanto, and then everybody was all about there's so many of those Spanish animated films, like I can't, like the freaking Encanto and the one with the skeletons, and then there was the one with the I think Disney did one. Like there's so many of them now, and I can't keep track anymore. I can't keep track of all this shit anymore. I don't know what studio's doing which one in Mexico now. You notice a lot of these animated films are taking place in Mexico. I'm like, that's awesome, but it's like there's too much of it. I can't keep track anymore. I can't keep track. Oh my god. So there's that. But yeah, Pixar, Lightyear. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's your birthday, King Tyrannus. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Hope you're having a good one. Yeah, happy birthday. Awesome. Okay, so what's your opinion on Return of the Joker? Okay, so I like Return of the Joker, but I like it for reasons most don't. Because I'll be honest, I like Batman Beyond, but a lot of people say it's like definitive Batman. I would say less. Like, let me just put it like this. If I had a gun pointed at my head and said, you have to choose which one you're going to watch for the rest of your life, Batman Forever or Batman Beyond, I'm choosing Batman Forever. I know I like Batman Beyond to some extent. I like a lot of it, actually. But you know what I don't like? And I'm going to be honest. I hate that bat suit. I really don't like the Beyond suit. I don't like the fact it doesn't have a cape. I don't like the fact that the cowl is attached to the mouth. Like, make that a ninja mask or something. I don't like the fact that the ears are too damn long. Like, there's something about the bat suit in Beyond that irks me. And even the fact that it's like another kid who isn't Dick Grayson being Batman bugs me. And that's the thing. There's some characters, we don't know what happened to them. What happened to Dick Grayson? I mean, I understand we know what happened with Tim. That's one of the best things about Return of the Joker. But what happened to Dick? I don't remember a thing about what happened to Dick Grayson. We don't know what happened to these characters. So I can't really say that I like and hate Batman Beyond, but Return of the Joker, I like it because the flashbacks to the original animated series and that terrifying scene with Tim Drake, that's the best part of the movie. Because it's like, wow, we're going back to the animated series. Like, the OG Batman animated series is in season 4, and anything with the Kevin Conroy era, fucking love that shit. Like, anything with Kevin Conroy. So there's that. What happened to Alfred? Alfred obviously died, but did he die in the vein of, like, Dark Knight Returns? That's what Flores wants to know. So there's that. Okay, so I'm going to answer one more question, and I'm going to make it count. Let's see here. Let me find one last question here. That is, okay, so this is going to be the last question of the night. That's a nice bat suit. How did I make it? Okay, so this bat suit has been in the works for a couple of years. I've worn it a few times, but I'm always updating it. So the way it was made, the way it started, was the pants, the underwear overwears or whatever you call it, the belt, the shirt. These were all part of a Halloween costume that I bought at a garage sale for like $5, and it fit me great. But since then, I've wanted to update it. So, like, the original capes I had were just cloth. Gloves were just wherever I could scrap up. But I've been really trying to make it more authentic to the movies. So, what really started making me get the bat suit better was the cape. The cape is just fake vinyl. It's fake vinyl I bought at Fabricland. And I had a really good friend of mine create the cape shape. And what's cool is it actually does the wing expansion. So, what can happen is, if you go check my Instagram, I did post a picture. This extends out like the Keaton movies. I wanted to be as accurate to the films as possible. And I actually have looked up the original props and how they made it. So the cape is just fake vinyl. The gloves are literally motorcycle gloves that are meant to replicate from the film. You can't really see it. I don't know if you can kind of, there you go. They are like the lined from the movies, but I wanted to go a step further and make them longer. So if you notice, let me just go to this one. If you look at, let me bring the camera here. If you look at this glove here, so you can see the gauntlet, the glove is a tad longer. It goes up to my elbow. That's because what I did was I bought a set of cheap women's boots for about $5, and I just used the sleeve of the boot, threw the boot out, and I just Velcroed it onto the thing. What's cool is it's got the zipper, so it looks more like the Schumacher sort of Panther suit. The belt is just part of the costume. It does come with boots. I'll bring in the boots here. The boots I bought at Value Village, and they're knee-high motorcycle boots. They were a good $50, so they come in really handy for shooting. And then the cowl. So the cowl is basically I bought it at a Halloween store. It's a basic Ruby's cowl. You can get these anywhere. And one thing I actually did do recently to update it, and this is for Comic-Con too, that I updated it. I added Velcro onto the cowl, and so it can attach. So this attaches to the chest, like because the problem is like I always had it where I had the cowl on and the thing would flip up. So I attached the emblem to the chest, and then there's actually Velcro around the cape so that the cowl can attach to the cape. And the reason I used Velcro is because I looked up on replicas, or not replicas, I looked up like screen-used props, like screen-used costumes from the movies, and they used Velcro to attach the cowl to the cape, and that's why Keaton couldn't move half the time. So, yeah, this is just my bat suit that I have for Keaton, and I'm really mad because one thing I want to do, I don't know if you guys can see that wall with those thumbtacks. I put some of my bat gadgets next to it to make it more like the Bat Cave. And the only problem is, I know the company NECA Toys, they put out the grapple gun and they put out the Batarang. And I'm so mad because they only had those in the States. We didn't get them here in Canada. I think it's a weapons issue. And I'm so mad I could never get those. So I don't know if you guys find them. Like, I know sometimes fans send me gifts, but on a whim, if you see that thing, you want to ship it over, feel free to, because it sucks I can never get that thing, because that would look great next to the suit that I could just attach the gadgets to. So that is sort of how I made my bat suit. Now, this is going to be used on a project too, by the way, which is cool. And if you're wondering how I display it, it's just a store. I bought a store mannequin secondhand, and I just brought it in and I just added it to the suit. So there you go. So that's basically the bat suit. And I think that's where we're going to call it a night, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming down for this. Like, we got a lot of viewers on this live stream. I don't know when the next one's going to be. I'm really going to try to make an effort. But, like, again, I am slowly coming back from massive burnout. So just bear with me that when you get... Look, and this is the best part. I don't like doing, like, schedule much anymore. Like, just videos come out when they come out, and streams are out when they're out. And I like that because just doing streams when I feel like it, it brings in more crowds. If I just do them randomly, they actually become a bit more fun, I think, rather than just making them a chore. So I really do appreciate you all coming down. Of course, feel free to support our Patreon. Really appreciate it. Just $1 more will get you access to all of our content, as well as other special features. We're going to get back to opening night soon. We got a few requests that we have to do first, but once we get done those requests, then we're going to move on to... obviously, Patreon sponsored ones. If you donate $5 a month, you can choose an opening night. And we're also going to do something here where, I mean, I'm going to announce it later, but I think we're going to do something with Patreon that allows you to request a BigJackFilms review, because it's a way to kind of generate ad revenue there more than we would YouTube. So, because that's another thing. YouTube has still been very down lately, and it's normally around the winter time when it's really shit. So, yeah, just support us on Patreon when you can. Of course, if you want to send us gifts, donations, and fan mail and questions, of course, at our basic address, BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L021R0. Love to hear from you guys. And tune in Friday. And that will be the first part 1 of this double feature of the Kong animated series with Kong King of Atlantis. That's going to be the first movie I'd cover. And also, join me this weekend. I will be coming to Toronto Comic-Con. I'll be there all 3 days. Sunday, I'll be in the bat suit. I'll be in cosplay most of the time. And I'll also hopefully be at Too Many Games. So, fingers crossed. Like, I'm going to be at Too Many Games in Pennsylvania on the April 1st weekend. They are doing a double feature screening of the Game Chasers movie and the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, and James will be there. So that's one of the reasons I'm going, you know, business venture, why not? And yeah, just tune in. There is things coming. I just wanted to really, I felt like I owed you guys a massive live stream. Just the energy to get one done has been excruciatingly painful, and plus other things in the world. But just relax. We're not going anywhere. We're going to get stuff done. But this is just a good way to kind of just give you guys something because you've been asking, and I feel bad I can't respond. But just bear with us. We're slowly getting back in the game. I just wanted to entertain you guys for a bit. So, yeah, that's it for now. Until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. BigJackFilms signing off. Just enjoy life, and we'll be back soon. We got stuff coming. Just stay tuned. And thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there, because this burnout was tough. And it's still tough, but we're getting back into things. So until next time, see you later. Take it easy. And good night.